The XL Bully, that dog has been responsible for a spate of attacks and fatalities over the past few years. Just a bit of context here, this particular dog was imported from America. They're absolutely huge and incredibly strong. I've got to say, I personally found them quite scary looking. I would probably, I must confess, cross the road if I saw one coming towards me. There have been calls now that breed should be banned. David, where are you?
It's a difficult one because, you know, my concern is that this breed of dog is going to kill more people because apparently 10 people have died in attacks by this breed of dog. But you have to look into it and say, is it the owners at fault in all of those cases, or is it the breed itself? So I think we need to look into this much more to ascertain if it is the dog or if the dog can be safe if they have good owners. Or were the owners bad and badly trained and didn't have a grip on the dog in the cases where there were these, you know, terrible incidents?
Oh. It's a terrible name for a dog, isn't it? XL Bully. It's obviously, it says a lot about the attitude of the owners, but it is the owners always in this who are responsible rather than the poor mutt. I'm against bans.
Is it? Is it always the owners?
Yeah,
Does some dogs just have fighting in them?
Well, some are better at fighting than others, but I think the sort of case we're talking about here is the adoption of a dog as some sort of street statement. I've got a Patterdale Terrier. Patterdales are notoriously badly behaved, and she's a little thing. She looks like Jack Russell, a slightly bigger, not much bigger than a Jack Russell. Bonnie. She's now 12. She's a terrible ankle biter, right. And she tends to bark at men with beards. She
beardist.
That's been warned.
I won't go anywhere near.
She has been in trouble with the authorities over this, and the police came out from Hereford once to give Bonnie a caution. And they turned up and she rolled over on her back and showed them her tummy. And it was that was somehow encapsulated the absurdity.
They didn't really come out.
They did. You get them out for that, you won't get them out for a serious crime.
So somebody had complained. So I'm guessing, so your dog bit someone and they complained?
Yeah, he was some sort of Lib Dem rambler. And he took against Bonnie and she took against his ankle, his left ankle, I think.
Right, so what was the end of that story? I need to know. What happened?
We were issued with a verbal warning.
Right.
Should it happen again, then it'd be no bonios for at least a week.
Right. Well, there you go.
It was going to be, I mean, we were going to be in trouble. We were going to be in legal trouble. But, I mean, I am personally against bans. And I think bans are often counterproductive. And you talked about if you saw an XL Bully coming down the street, you would cross the street. Well, that is the way to do it. And social messaging...
Yeah, but it's no good if I cross the street and the thing chases after me and attacks me anyway.
But I think social stigma is the way to do this rather than legislation.
But I think there are some species of dogs that are banned already under the Dangerous Dogs Act, aren't there? I think there's 10 species that are banned in this country.
That, to me, is enough banning, Ed.
Yeah, but this one, you know, again, I think it needs to be looked into a little bit more. But there's across the board, I mean, there's a real problem.
Well, let's just cross very briefly. Anna Webb is a dog behaviourist. You keep me company now. Good evening to you. What do you think to this? I'm hearing the argument here that it's not the dog, it is the owner. Is that right?
Yes, good evening, Michelle. I would agree. I think the problem is with the XL Bully, it's not really a breed as such. It is a mix of lots of different big, strong dogs. And it's become the sort of go-to popular, I would say, status symbol. And the problem with them is they are a combination of bull breeds, which Quentin rightly just said. Some dogs are perhaps easier to train than others. I admire you very much for having a Patterdale. They're not one of the easiest dogs. So for somebody taking on an XL Bully that has, for example, never had a dog before, you know, that's rather a silly move. I'm always, you know, really stressing that you must bring a dog into your life, which brings great joy, but it's got to be relevant to your lifestyle, your experience, and your accommodation. So on the banning side, it hasn't worked. We do have the Dangerous Dogs Act. It hasn't worked. It was a piece of knee-jerk legislation back in 1991. We have only 4 banned breeds in the UK. Now, since these breeds have been banned, the point of the Dangerous Dogs Act was to protect the public and stop incidents that we've seen a lot of late, which I feel is down to the pandemic. People beginning to think, right, the must-have accessory now post-pandemic is to get a dog and not choosing the right ones, as just mentioned. But the Dangerous Dogs Act hasn't actually stopped dog bites at all. And in fact, they've just increased. And they've increased to be now at their record proportions, 34% up earlier this year than they were pre-pandemic. And deaths by dog, which I find such a tragedy for the dog, has actually rocketed to about 18 in the last 18 months.
It has indeed. There you go. This is a conversation that will rumble on. But Anna Webb, that is a dog behaviourist there. Thank you.